Oh, hello there. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you feeling happy today? I hope you are happy. I'm happy because I'm back with you again live on YouTube for those who are wondering what this is, and I'm sure there will be a lot of people today asking, what's this? Why did YouTube recommend this to me? Well, why not? sometimes in life it is nice to have a surprise. So this might be something different to what you're used to, but does it matter? Not really, I don't think so. I'm now broadcasting live on YouTube. Yes, we are now live across the internet. Ooh, definitely. Let's just see if we can get the live chat. So I have to do one or two technical things first of all. First of all, I need to activate the live chat. Let's see. Do we have... Oh, yes. There it is. Hooray. We have the live chat and we are all ready to go. So if you haven't already noticed, today I'm in the garden. Now this morning when I woke up, the weather was glorious. We had the most amazing morning here in England. However, as the day went on, the weather became more unsettled. In around about 50 minutes ago, I was here underneath my gazebo and the rain was pouring down, and also the wind was very strong. In fact, it was blowing so strongly I thought it was going to carry my gazebo away. I had to hold on to it just in case the wind decided to take it away. So yes, I had a little bit of drama here in the garden a few moments ago. Needless to say, rain is probably one of the worst things you can have when you are trying to do an outside live stream. So the combination of rain and then wind, pretty awful to say the least. Talking of things that are unpleasant, we also have the lockdown, which is continuing. Yes, we are into day 13 of the lockdown here in England. If you are watching at the moment in England, please say hello. Don't be shy, give it a try. You might enjoy it, you never know. So the reason why I'm here normally on YouTube is to talk about the English language. That is what I do. I'm an English teacher. I've been doing this on YouTube for a very long time. Over 14 years, in fact. Hello to the live chat. I want to say hello to the live chat as well, because you are the most important part of this. I'm here, but to be honest with you, there would be no point me being here if you were not here. So I'm glad to see so many people joining in already on the live chat. I hope you got the notification. I did send them out, even though quite often YouTube does not send the notifications, for which I apologise. It is in fact not my fault. It's nothing to do with me. Unfortunately, YouTube has control over everything that occurs here. Now, and already my throat has gone very dry. So I need to rearrange things here slightly, because I can't begin to tell you how bad the weather was earlier. We had the most awful weather. Pretty bad, in fact. So I have some things to show you today, if they don't blow away, of course. Wow. Everything was going really well until the rain started coming down, and then the wind arrived, and then suddenly everything became rather unsettled, to say the least. Hello to the live chat. As I said, it wouldn't be a live chat without you. We have Sandra. Hello, Sandra. Luis Mendez. Hello, Luis Mendez. Vitas. Lolly, also here today on the live chat. Also, Khan. Hello, Khan Nguyen, watching in Vietnam. A big xin chào to you as well. We have El Christian. Hello to you. Thank you for joining me today on the live stream underneath my gazebo. I can't begin to tell you how bad the weather was. We've had some really bad weather. Wind, rain, and if there is one thing that we love doing here in England, we love talking about the weather. I'm going to mention the weather quite a lot today, because we are talking about wind. Wind. It is quite possibly one of the most destructive forces in nature when you think about it. So I know that rain can cause a lot of damage, flooding, landslides, loss of life, of course. But wind, I think wind is one of the most destructive forces of nature. So when we talk about force of nature, we are actually talking about natural occurrences, things that cannot be controlled. If there is one thing that we cannot control, it's the weather. As I found out about an hour ago when my gazebo nearly flew away in the wind. You may also notice today I am outside in the garden, and behind me, can you see behind me? I have my lovely bird feeders. However, they are empty at the moment. So the birds are coming into the garden. Unfortunately, there is no food in the bird feeders. So one of the things I'm going to do today during the live stream is put some food into the bird feeders, and hopefully we will get some birds coming down during the live stream. So as I mentioned we have wind types of wind. When we talk about wind, we are talking about air pressure. You can have high pressure or low pressure. So depending on what the pressure is, what the pressure is in the air, depends on how strong the wind will be. So you might find that certain types of air pressure will bring no wind. Some types of air pressure will bring a lot of wind. Sometimes too much wind. More wind than we can cope with. So let's have a look, shall we? Different types of wind. When we talk about wind, we are talking about, well, first of all, you can have very light wind. So there is a type of wind that doesn't really cause any damage. In fact, you might find that it can be very soothing. It can be quite pleasant, especially on a hot day. So you might have something called a breeze. Breeze. The word breeze is a gentle wind, calming wind, something that might make you feel quite good on a hot day. So quite often we love to have a breeze in the air. We love breezes. You can also say it is windy. So if there is a lot of wind around, you can say generally it is windy. So breeze, gentle, soothing, a nice wind, a gentle breeze. You might also say that it's breezy. The day is breezy. There is a breeze. Windy. Also, we can say blustery. Now, to be honest, I might describe today as a bit blustery, to be honest. So I think today the weather is quite blustery. We are having lots of sudden gusts of wind, which are causing quite a few problems here in the garden. Especially for me, blustery. So the wind can be strong, the wind can be sudden, and blustery wind can also cause lots of damage as well. If the wind is very strong, we might say that the wind is gale force. Gale. So a gale is a very strong wind, prolonged, strong, something that might cause damage to property, trees, structures. So when we talk about gales, we are talking about very strong winds, winds that can cause damage. And then of course we have things such as hurricanes. A hurricane is a very strong wind, normally part of a storm. So quite often when you have a hurricane, you might just have wind. You might also have wind and rain as well. We can also describe a hurricane as a cyclone. So there is another word, cyclone. A cyclone is a twisting, swirling wind. Once again, it can cause a lot of damage. A great deal of damage. Cyclone. Did you know that cyclones go in different directions depending on where you are in the world? For example, if you are in the north or the northern hemisphere, the actual cyclone will go anti-clockwise. However, if you are in the southern hemisphere, the cyclone will actually go clockwise. It will go in the opposite direction. It's a little bit like the toilet water, you see. When you flush the toilet, the water will also go in different directions, different ways round, depending on where you are in the world. So those are the different types of wind that you can have. We can describe them all as that in English. You can have a gentle breeze, it can be windy, it can be blustery, there might be a gale blowing strongly, or if the wind is very severe, you might have a hurricane or a cyclone. Certain parts of the world have their seasons defined by the amount of rain and wind that they receive. Certain parts of the world will have the hurricane season. Certain parts of the United States, South America, Asia will have hurricane or cyclone seasons. That means the air pressure will cause strong winds to form, large storms which might sweep across a certain area. Quite often they will originate in the ocean and then they will head inland. And by doing that they will cause a lot of damage indeed. A great deal of damage. Now here's an interesting word. In fact, first of all, we're going to look at something else. There are some wind words that can be used in different ways in the English language. For example, you can say breeze as a way of expressing something that is easy. So if something is easy, you can say that it was a breeze. It was easy. Something that is easy to do. You can say that it was a breeze. It was so easy to do. Maybe you have an exam and you sit your exam and then afterwards your friends will ask, how was the exam? And you will say, it was a breeze. It was easy. It was no problem. I found it very easy to do. It was a breeze. We can say an ill wind. So when we say ill wind, we mean a bad feeling, or maybe a bad feeling in the air. Maybe you are having some disagreements with your neighbours about something. You might say that there is an ill wind. There is a bad feeling in the air. The sense of maybe doom. Something that is coming your way that might bring harm or bad feelings. You can breeze in. Oh, so another use of the word breeze. If you breeze in, it means you move casually. You breeze in. You might walk into the room casually. You breeze in. You might walk by casually without a care in the world. We can say that you breeze by. You go by casually. You breeze in. You come in casually. You breeze by. You walk past casually without a care in the world. Here's another one. You can put the wind up someone. Put the wind up someone. If you put the wind up someone, it means you cause alarm or shock. So you cause a person to be shocked or alarmed by someone. You put the wind up someone. You suddenly make them afraid, shocked, or surprised. You give them some news, or maybe you make them suddenly afraid. You make them jump. You put the wind up someone to cause alarm or shock to someone. So there are some uses of wind words that can be used in the English language. It's true. Now here is the thing that I wanted to show you earlier. I almost forgot to show you the other meanings of the wind words, but here we go. Have you ever heard of the Fern effect? Have you ever heard of it? The Fern effect. Now, as you can see, the word itself looks foreign, and that's because it is derived from another language. The Fern effect. And there at the bottom you can see the actual way of pronouncing it, fern. The Fern effect. If you listen very carefully, you might hear the refuse collectors. They are now coming to empty the waste bins. So our dustbins are being emptied at the moment. So if you listen very carefully, you will hear the sound of the dustbins being emptied. Oh yes, I have such a glamorous life here in England. So what is the Fern effect? For those who are wondering what it is a type of wind. It is actually a type of wind. I will show you. The Fern effect is a warm, dry, southerly wind that forms in the lee of any mountain range. When we say lee, we mean the calm side. So you might say that one side of a mountain there is a storm, and on the opposite side it is calm. We often describe that as the lee. Lee. In fact, there it is. So the lee is the sheltered side of a mountain. And that is what the Fern effect is. A warm, dry, southerly wind that forms in the lee of any mountain range. At the moment in Scotland, we are having some Fern effect, which is causing a lot of mild air to blow around. And that is one of the reasons why at the moment here in the UK, the weather is quite mild. We are having a lot of warm air flying around at the moment. And that is one of the reasons why the weather is a little bit unsettled. That's why we had so much rain today, you see. Hello to the live chat. Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Nice to see you here. Thomas says, YouTube does not send me an email notification for at least 10 weeks. I'm sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, there are many things on YouTube that I have no control over. And one of those things is the notifications. So there are many things at the moment on YouTube that seem to be working or not working at all. A hot southerly wind on the northern slopes of the Alps can be described as a fern. The Fern effect is a warm wind that is created from the far side of a mountain. Would you like to see an illustration? Oh, Mr. Duncan, we would like very much. Can we really see an illustration of the Fern effect? Okay then, there it is. So that is what it looks like. The Fern effect. So on one side you can see the storm. It is very wet, very cool. And on the far side, the lee of the mountain, you can see that the turbulence is causing warm air to be formed. So you have the cool air rising. Normally there is a lot of moisture, maybe even a storm. And then at the top, the air will swirl around, and that pressure will cause the air to heat up. You might also have bright sunshine as well, which will also heat up the air. So for those wondering what the Föhn effect is, that is what it is. And at the moment here in the UK, we are actually having the Föhn effect in Scotland. And it is causing a lot of weird weather conditions. Like the ones that we experienced earlier today here in England. Hello, Nessar. Why are you disclosing a secret chat? Asks Nessar. I don't know what you mean by that. Nice to see you here. If it is your first time here, don't be afraid, don't worry. YouTube has brought you here for a real good reason. They want you to have a little bit of fun, because at the moment everything is so gloomy. People are complaining. Here, especially here in England, a lot of people are complaining because they have to stay in the house. They can't go to work. They can't enjoy the things that they want to enjoy, unfortunately. Hello to Flyaway. Hello, Flyaway. Nice to see you here as well. Alessandra. Hello, Alessandra. Nice to see you back as well. Hello, Daisy Cow. YouTube doesn't send email notifications anymore. There are ways of receiving your notifications. You must activate your notifications. So if you have a YouTube channel, if you have a YouTube account and you want to receive notifications, you have to turn the notifications on. You have to make sure that YouTube is able to send those notifications to you. Hello to Nessar. Mr. Duncan, today a new member has joined your live session. His name is Arif. Hello, Arif Imam. Hello, Arif. Nice to see you here. And also Nessar as well. Nice to see you here as well today. If you listen very carefully, you might hear the birds. Some of the birds are complaining at the moment because there is no How to Laugh Challenge. Hello, grey hair wisdom. Talking of grey hair, I have a lot of grey hair at the moment on my chin. What do you think of my new beard? Mr. Steve hates my beard, by the way. What about you? Do you like beards? Do you like it when people grow beards? What about when your husband or your boyfriend decides to grow a beard? What do you think of it? Steve hates my beard. He says it's horrible. He says you look like my dad. I'm not sure how to feel about that, to be honest. I'm slightly offended, if I was honest. So Steve says I look like his dad. Partap. Hello, Partap. YouTube has taken away the captions. Yes, they have. I don't know why. It's a very strange situation. I don't know why YouTube is making so many negative changes. But unfortunately, I can't get my live captions on to my live stream anymore. I could before, but unfortunately I can't anymore, and I have no idea why. Even though on my actual video here that I'm watching, it does say that the captions are on. Unfortunately, there are no captions appearing on the live stream. I have no idea why. But don't worry, there is good news, because later on you can watch this all over again. And there will be captions later on. There will be captions later on. So don't worry about that. Hello, Bloody Mary. Oh, Bloody Mary is back. Nice to see you back as a regular viewer. Very nice of you to do that. Hello, Semi. Oh, hello there. Semi Boskurt or Boshurt. You are very charismatic. Ooh, with your beard. Thank you very much. But the important thing, of course, is how you feel about it. If you are happy, just continue to grow it. That sound behind me is actually the wind blowing through the trees at the top of the hill. So behind me there is a huge hill. And at the top of the hill there are lots of trees. So that sound you can hear behind me, that noise, is the wind. As I mentioned earlier, we had a lot of strong wind today. Hello, Vitas. By the way, hair loss and active growth of facial hair are indicators of high levels of testosterone. I remember growing up, men who were losing their hair on their heads would say that they are more macho or masculine because they are losing their hair. I don't know how true that is. As you know, I am also losing my hair on my head. However, I have my lovely beard to make up for it. Hailey Kwang says, I like raining. I like it when it rains. I don't mind the rain as long as I'm inside, you see. I like to be in the house. So if it is raining, I prefer to be in the house, to be honest with you. Everything is blowing around. I have a horrible feeling that there is another storm coming. I wouldn't be surprised if there is another storm coming towards us. Daisy Cow, please, Mr. Duncan, check if you don't trust me. Well, I do believe you. I do believe you. But don't forget, YouTube have made many changes over the past few weeks. I'm feeling a little scared at the moment because the wind is starting to build up. The wind is starting to get stronger. You can use almond oil on your hair and then it won't fall out. Can I just say, over the years, there have been many remedies or many things that have been created or produced that are supposed to get rid of baldness or prevent your hair from falling out. Can I just say, I don't think any of them really work, because if they did work, there would be no bald men in the world. So I don't think so. Mr. Duncan, the wind sound behind you sounds like the rain. It is definitely not rain. The sound you can hear behind me is actually the wind. It is a very windy day here in England. Hello to... Oh, we have Roxy. Hello, Roxy. Nice to see you here on the live chat. You might notice there are some birds behind me. In fact, at the moment, can you see? Just behind me, there is a pigeon sitting on the fence just behind me, waiting to be fed. I'm beginning to think that maybe coming out here today was a bad idea. I didn't realise that the wind was going to be so strong today, if I was honest with you. So I'm really taking a big risk here today. Can you believe I am taking a very big risk coming out here today? Semi, Mr. Duncan, do you have a fireplace in your house? On the rainy days you could sit there and feel very cosy. Yes, we do. We have a little log fire in the house, and during the winter months we light it and it keeps the house nice and warm. Also, we have heating in the house as well, so throughout the house we also have lots of heating as well. Trust me, it can get very cold here in England sometimes, especially if you live very high up like me. So my house is actually very high up, and because of that you often get very extreme weather. Hurricanes and cyclones, they can be similar, but they can also be very different. Hurricanes are just very strong winds, very strong storms. However, a cyclone will often swirl. It will go round and round. But to be honest with you, they might appear very similar. One of the big differences, of course, is in the north of if you live in the northern hemisphere. I am so distracted by this gazebo because I think it's going to blow away at any moment. You might actually see something very dramatic today. You might see me blow away in the wind. So one of the main differences in the northern hemisphere, the cyclone goes anti-clockwise, and in the southern hemisphere it goes clockwise, the direction in which it moves. It goes round and round. Mr. Duncan, could you please show us your bird close up? Oh yes, it's still there. I can't believe the pigeon is still there. I will try to show it, but I don't think it will come out very well, unfortunately. Mr. Duncan, do you only speak one language? I used to speak French very well when I was at school. I don't know why. And also, I was quite good. Well, when I say good, I mean I was able to speak some of the language. Chinese, you see. I used to use Chinese when I lived in China. So when I was living in China, I had to learn survival Chinese. Oh, Palmyra says today I received my vaccine for flu. Yes, at this time of year, including here in England and across the UK, in fact, around the world, many people are receiving their flu vaccines at the moment as winter approaches. And of course, we often find that many people get flu and colds, fever, all sorts of things at this time of year. So many people are now taking their flu vaccines. They are receiving their flu vaccines to help them through the winter months. Spanish is similar to English. I don't think so. There might be a lot of words that originated in Spanish that have been adapted into English. So that might be the reason why. In fact, that is the reason why you will find a lot of English words sound like other words from different languages. Because English basically borrowed, or should I say stole, many of the words and adapted them. So yes, you might say that English is a combination of many different types of dialect or language, and over the years these things have evolved. Around about 1,000 years, can you believe it? English has been used for around 1,000 years. That's incredible. From the very early days to Middle English and then Modern English, which is what we are speaking now. Hello, Luis Mendez. Yes, they are not the same language. You can't say that they are the same language. They are similar. And one of the things that makes languages similar, especially when we are talking about English, is many of the words that have been taken or adapted from other languages. So that's one of the reasons why you will find a lot of French words have been adapted or used in English. This continent, I suppose you could say that Britain has been invaded many times, and each time this country has been invaded, or should I say this island has been invaded, things have changed. Culture, you might talk about language, behaviour, religion, of course. So one of the main reasons why this country is a Christian country is because of the people that invaded this country over the years. And we are going back a very long time. Is your area in lockdown, Mr. Duncan? Yes, it is. We are currently in lockdown right now in England. So we are into our 13th day of lockdown. So many people now are being told that they must stay at home again. This has happened already. And now they must do it again. So a lot of people are being told that they have to stay at home, including me and Mr. Steve. So even Mr. Steve is now once more working from home. We have no choice, unfortunately. And it looks as if the lockdown at the moment is going to end on the 2nd of December. Even though there are some people who think it might go on much longer than that. We will have to wait and see and find out. The Romans conquered Great Britain. Yes, the Romans came here. That's one of the reasons why we have lots of lovely roads. One of the most famous Roman roads is the A5. I know it doesn't sound very poetic, but the A5 is a very long Roman road, and it goes for many, many miles. In fact, the A5 is not very far away from here. It does come past this area where I live. What are you doing during lockdown, Mr. Duncan? What am I doing? Well, I am doing lots of things. I am learning some new skills at the moment. I am learning graphic design and also motion graphics, which is a very technical subject, to be honest. It's a very difficult skill to learn, but I am trying my best to learn it. So I am spending a lot of my time in a very useful way. I'm not wasting my time during lockdown. I am doing lots of different things, including my extra lessons as well. So today, this is an extra live stream. This is not my normal live stream. This is my extra live stream. Now, what I'm going to do right now, whilst I have a chance, because the sun is now trying to come out. Yeah, the sun is coming out, even though there are many grey skies and clouds above me. The sun is trying to come out. Is Mr. Steve watching your live stream, or is he making tea? Steve is having his break at the moment. He's having a short break from his work. Yes. Everywhere they went, the Romans built roads, and they are very long lasting. That is true. Very true. I'm going to put some food out for the birds. So that is one of the things I want to do today during the live stream. So if you don't mind, I would like to go just over there. And I think I'm going to disturb the pigeon. So the pigeon, unfortunately, will probably fly off when I go over there. So I'm going to bring the bird feeders here, and then I'm going to put some seed in to the feeders. You see, I have some bird seed here. So these are actually sunflower hearts. They are called sunflower hearts. And now all my paper is blowing away. By the way, if you are thinking of doing a live stream outside, make sure the wind isn't blowing. Sorry, Mr. Pigeon, I'm going to disturb you.
Oh,
Oh, it's gone already. Come on. Finally. So here is one of my bird feeders. I'm going to put some seed in there, and then I will try my best to hang it on the tree without being blown away. So here we go. You might notice that the top of this bird feeder is actually covered. It's covered with bird poo. There is bird poo all over my bird feeder. Right, let's put a bit of bird food in here, shall we?
hello, Mr. Duncan.
You nearly gave me a bloody heart attack. Do you have to do that, Mr. Steve?
Yes,
Do you have to keep making...
I do.
I'm just...
Hello, everyone.
Why do you keep doing that?
I thought you'd have heard me, Mr. Duncan.
I nearly crapped myself.
I thought you'd have heard me climbing over the fence.
I think I may have pooed my pants a little bit there. You scared the life out of me.
Well, I've just taken a short break from work because I've been working hard all day, and this is the first chance I've had for a break, so I've been for a little stroll, a walk, and now I'm going to go back inside and do some more work.
I like that.
So I'm not here for long.
So if Mr. Steve's boss is watching, don't worry, Steve is going back upstairs.
I'm going back upstairs right now.
Okay,
See you on Sunday.
see you,
Bye,
Steve.
Mr. Duncan.
So that is Mr. Steve, who just actually scared the life out of me. He really did put the wind at me. Oh, my heart is still pounding away from that. One of these days, I'm going to have a heart attack. Live here. Live. Well, the stream will be live, but I won't. I'll be dead. Thanks to Mr. Steve. I still can't believe that. Okay, there it is. That is one of my bird feeders that I've now filled with bird seed. And I'm pretty sure that the birds are going to be very pleased to see this. I think so. So I'm going to hang this up. Excuse me a moment. I will be back in a moment. Don't go away. I still can't believe Mr. Steve did that. He almost gave me a heart attack then. How could you? How could you do that to me, Mr. Steve? I was very frightened. Very frightened indeed. If you just joined me, hello, welcome to my live stream. Something a little different today. I am hanging out with the birds. And if there's one thing that the birds love, it's eating food. How does that look? Does that look okay? I think so. Oh, okay. That looks all right. I think it looks okay. So the seeds that I just put out are called sunflower hearts. There we go. For those who are wondering. Sunflower hearts. They are basically the insides of sunflowers. And the birds love them very much. They really do. I have some lovely things here I wanted to show you, but unfortunately they're now all wet. They're soaking wet, unfortunately. Here is something else that I often give to the birds. There we go, can you see those? They are suet balls or suet nuggets. There we go, so that is the brand. And they are made of suet. Of course, birds love eating fat. They love suet. They love things that have plenty of energy, because birds use a lot of energy when they are flying around. They use a lot of energy. My heart is still racing away. Still racing away because of those birds and Mr. Steve jumping out. There are lots of strange creatures in my garden, and one of them sometimes is Mr. Steve when he's creeping about. So I'm putting some of the suet. Can you see it? So I'm putting the suet into this feeder. And then I will hang this on the tree, and hopefully the birds will come down. Although one of the things I've noticed today, there aren't many birds around, and that's because of the wind, you see. So quite often when the wind is bad, or maybe the weather is extreme, the birds will stay away. Sadly. This might be one of the hardest live streams that I've ever done, because the weather is very extreme. Strong winds, heavy rain. It is making my life very difficult today. There we go. There we are. So now we have the suet inside the feeder. And the birds absolutely love this food very much. They absolutely go crazy for this food. I might actually have to stop this live stream. I might actually have to go back into the house because the wind is starting to build up once more. Okay, I will put this on the tree. I will hang it over there. Just a moment. Sometimes it's very useful being tall. So now I have my bird feeders hanging up. They are full of food. All we need now are the birds. Hello, live chat. Nice to see you here. Even though no one's really watching, unfortunately. I might not do this again. This might be the last time I do a live stream in the week. Because no one is actually watching. I know why, because YouTube isn't telling anyone. I have no idea why. I'm starting to think in my brain that maybe YouTube doesn't want me to do live streams anymore. I think it's starting to annoy them. I don't know why. I hope it's not annoying you. Hello Nova Crafts. Hello Nova Crafts. Nice to see you here today. I am outside in the garden on a very unsettled day. The weather is awful. I feel as if I'm taking a very big risk coming out here today doing this. Feeding the birds takes you a lot of time, Mr. Duncan. Yes, it does. I spend a lot of my time feeding the birds. One of the reasons why I do it, of course, is because, well, first of all, the birds need to survive, but also I like looking out of my window in the morning, and all of the birds will come down and they will feed and they will sing. So there is always something nice to see outside my studio window. So that's one of the things I really like doing. Alessandra says naughty YouTube. Yes. You see, one of the things that I've learnt over the years, one of the things you learn when you are doing something for many years is when things are not right. So you know when things are right and you know when something isn't right. And at the moment I get the feeling that my YouTube channel is slowly being deleted by YouTube. It would appear that I'm being buried alive on YouTube. I don't know why, but I'm getting a very strange feeling that YouTube want me to go away. Why? I have no idea. Thank you, Abdul. You are very kind and you show a lot of mercy. Oh, that's a nice word. I like that word, by the way. The word mercy. Show mercy. You show kindness, or maybe also forgiveness, I suppose. A lot of people think that mercy is forgiveness. You show mercy to someone. You show kindness. You show warm-heartedness to someone. It is so windy today. My little gazebo is blowing all over the place. I wish you could see it. It's slightly disturbing, to say the least. Anna says, I am not annoyed by your live streams. I hope not. I know I'm not sexy. And I know maybe to some people I'm not cool. Because I'm not American, you see. I'm British. I'm an Englishman. I'm not American. I'm not sexy. I'm not young. So there are many things that I don't have going for me. I also don't play computer games, you see. So if I was playing my computer game now, if I was showing you my screen whilst playing computer games, I would probably have about 20,000 viewers. But because I'm actually doing something useful and creative, then maybe it's not interesting, you see. Maybe people don't find it interesting. So if you don't find it interesting, maybe YouTube doesn't find it interesting. Maybe that's the reason why. No, YouTube doesn't think like that. You will be surprised, actually. So, as I've already said, because I have a lot of experience of dealing with YouTube, and I used to deal directly, many years ago, I used to talk to people from YouTube on the phone. They would call me. They would actually call me on the telephone, and we would chat about things. In fact, a couple of years ago, I used to have a lot of contact with YouTube directly. So they know all about me. They know I exist. I'm not a secret to them. Sandra says, for YouTube, I watch twice. And the same time is normally your live stream because I need to understand the same words. However, I see you twice. I watch you 2 times. Well, that's nice. I'm glad to hear that my lessons are useful. I know my live streams are very different. My live streams are not the same as my recorded lessons. They are quite different. I can really hear the sound of the rustling leaves. The rustling leaves. The sound of not only the leaves, but also the trees swaying in the wind. You are right. Mr. Duncan, you are still my favourite English teacher, even though you are not cool, or sexy, or young, or American, or a sexy lady. I can't help that, I'm afraid. I'm very sorry about that. Maybe I should have a sex change. Maybe I should become a beautiful lady, and then maybe I will get more viewers. Who knows? Thank you, Mosen. Thank you very much. Wiglaf. Hello, Wiglaf. I think England is a better country to live in than the USA. Well, I suppose it depends where you go. Just like any country. There might be places that are nice to live, and maybe there are places that are not so nice to live in. So, yes, I suppose parts of England are nice. I like living here, you see, in the countryside. But some people hate it. They would hate to live here in the countryside because they would find it so boring. So some people would not want to live in the countryside. They would find it too dull and boring. However, I love living in the countryside. I think it's one of the most amazing things. One of my best decisions in my life was to move here to the countryside. So I'm not a very big fan of cities, noise, traffic, pollution. I don't like any of those things. Fly Away is going to fly away now. See you later, Fly Away. Take care of yourself, won't you? Thank you, Adoralia. Oh, hello to Adoralia. Nice to see you here. Adoralia Hernandez Rodriguez. I like your name. That's a brilliant name, by the way. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Belarusia, you are a very handsome teacher, my dear. I'm not looking for compliments. I'm not saying these things because I want you to give me compliments. That's not the reason why I'm doing it. But I am aware that certain things here on YouTube are more popular because they are more interesting or exciting or attractive. So I do realise that. I am very aware of it. Anna says, I love spontaneous speech. It is more vivid and involving. Yes, well, one of the things I love about doing my live streams is the fact that this is spontaneous. It is something that happens without any preparation. So as I stand here in front of you in my garden with the wind blowing all around me and my poor gazebo, my little gazebo is blowing everywhere. So whilst I'm doing these things, I'm actually talking spontaneously. None of this has been planned. So everything I'm saying at the moment has not been rehearsed or planned. Oh my goodness. Wow. The wind is getting very strong now. I think there's a storm coming. I think there might be a storm on the way. I think so. Oh my goodness. I think I might have to stop this. I wish I could show you my gazebo at the moment. It's blowing everywhere. Let me just move my camera. Oh my goodness. The wind is very strong at the moment. Oh no, Mr. Duncan, we want you to continue. I'm not sure if I can. If I do continue, you might see my gazebo blow away, and maybe you will see me fly away as well. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. It doesn't look very windy behind me, but above my head, it really is windy. It's quite dramatic, actually. I wish I could show you. Let me try and show you the wind. Oh, there we go. Can you see now, behind me? You can see the trees are blowing quite a lot. And my gazebo is definitely blowing around. Oh my goodness. Okay, I think I'm going to go in a moment. It's too dangerous. It can't blow away if you hold it. Well, yes, that's the reason why I'm holding it, so it doesn't blow away. Mr. Duncan, please go inside. Please be safe. Mr. Duncan. Yes, I think I'm going to go back into the house because it's a little bit too dangerous out here today. The wind is too strong. It really is blowing quite a lot. Mr. Duncan, don't fly away. You don't have any wings. No, I don't. That is true. Unlike the birds. See, the birds are very lucky because they can just fly around. They don't have to worry about such things. I do, you see. I'm not used to flying around. Don't worry, I will be back with you, by the way, on Sunday. Everything will be back to normal on Sunday. I will be in the studio on Sunday from 2 p.m. UK time. I will be back in the studio. Please go back into the house, Mr. Duncan. Are there bird houses behind you? Behind me, they are bird feeders. So they are actually things for giving food to the birds. So that's what I'm actually doing there. So they are hanging from the tree, and then the birds will come down and they will eat the food. But not today, because it's too windy. The birds don't feel like coming out today. I wonder why. Okay, I think I'm going to end this live stream. I think I'm going to end this live chat because my gazebo is going to blow away. Apparently, it looks like you have a nice garden, according to what I can see. Yes, there are many different views in my garden. Behind me, in fact, well, in front of me, so the direction that I'm looking in, there is a huge landscape in front of me with all of the hills and the fields and the trees. So everything in front of me is a huge landscape that goes off way into the distance. And behind me there is actually a hill. So behind me all of the land goes up, much higher up. Thank you very much for your effort. Thank you very much for your company. I can't believe I've been here for 1 hour and 20 minutes. So yes, I'm going to go in a moment. I hope you've enjoyed this. Something a little different, something a little dangerous. Mr. Duncan, it is better to go into the house if the wind is blowing strong, but please be safe. I will. Sandra Gonzalez says, I like your live stream. Thank you very much. I hope this has been interesting. I hope you enjoyed watching Mr. Steve frighten the life out of me. Did you see that earlier? Mr. Steve came over the fence and he crept up behind me and he scared the life out of me. He put the wind at me. Thank you, Mr. Steve. Thank you, Mr. Steve, for giving me a heart attack. I think the birds are coming. I'm going into the house now because I'm freezing cold, and also I feel as if I might lose my life, which is not a good thing, really, when you think about it. Thank you, Diana. Thank you very much, Palmyra. I'm going into the house. I hope you've enjoyed this. I will see you later. We might do something special on Sunday. If you've noticed, for the past 2 weeks I've been doing something special in the kitchen. I think this weekend we will be doing something maybe in the kitchen or maybe something outside. I'm not sure yet. We will have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm going into the house now before my gazebo blows away completely. Thank you very much for your company. See you on Sunday. Catch you later. This is Mr. Duncan in a very windy England saying thanks for watching. Thank you for joining me today. See you later. And take care, of course, because I care. And until the next time we meet here on YouTube, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now. I couldn't resist showing you the landscape in front of me. So that is the view that I was talking about a few moments ago. That is the view as the sun comes out and the wind is blowing very strongly. And I will definitely say ta-ta for now.